Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Metaworld News. This time for the week ending the 7th of January 2018. Yes, I'm going to have to get that right, aren't I? Yes, indeed. This is the first weekly roundup for the brand new year. And as you might expect with a brand new year, it hasn't really started properly yet. There is very little news to report. So this is more a case of telling you we're still here than actually offering you anything useful. However, there have been a little couple of things. In my feed at twitter.com/Malburns, MALB1S, or one word, a post from a site called aeon.co. The philosophy of virtuality, quite an interesting little post that came up yesterday. That's the only thing that is actually showing up of any weight, as it were, in my main feed this week. However, I'm also going to move across to Metaworld's feed, which is in our Twitter feed, twitter.com/MetaworldNews. And we have a post from, says remember, Hypergrid Safari. It's hgsafari.blogspot.com. And the post is called Poetry and Particles. And it's actually a roundup of this week's Safari, which unfortunately I didn't make. I was covered in wires and hardware and offline in the process. So I missed particularly the second stop there, of course, was Karima's Hoisan's River of Forgetting. I first had to miss that, but you can read all about it at hgsafari.blogspot.com. Right. Now, the next bit I'm going to go to is Google Plus, and I'm not going to stay there for long because that's two is just repeats. So all of two items make up the news, but that's not the end of the show quite yet. If you go to the Hypergrid International Expo site, which is hypergrid-international-expo.weebly, that's weebly.com, and the post I'm about to read you is from the HIE blog. We need a shorter routing thing for that for that web address. Basically, Thursday's written there earlier this week. Welcoming you to the new site. What has she done? Right, the first HIE event drew a great deal of interest from around the world, as far away as Central and South America, Japan, and as far north as Sweden, all the way down to South Africa. The event is designed with non-native English speakers in mind, and it's literally, she gives a roundup of what we were up to there, but she hasn't. Okay, this may be elsewhere in Google Plus. I'm very sorry, folks, but basically we have set the date. And the next Hypergrid International Expo will be happening at the end of March. It will actually be, I think it's something like 21st of March. I'll have to double check on that. But but if you're interested, bear that kind of date in mind. It is actually the immediate weekend following Virtual World's Best Practices in Education's conference, which is usually mostly over in Second Life, but partly on OpenSim as well. We don't know too many details of all those locations yet. So anyway, that is good. We gauged the first one in December to be a success. So if that was our alpha, I guess the one in March will be our final beta, and the next one after that will be all go. No real information yet on it. I imagine we'll have principally the same languages. We've certainly got a lot of feedback and interest, submissions, as it were, from France and French and Spanish speaking people. So we'll let you know on that as we go ahead. The other thing I thought I'd mention, I tend to avoid gossip here, but there's a post on Google Plus this morning from Terry Ford, who of course runs DigiWorlds, and he has actually made a point that all Athena mesh bodies have been banned in DigiWorlds. This is ATHENA, Athena brand. Apparently, if any other grid owners want a copy of a conversation he had with a certain creator in SL, you can contact him and he will give you the information. But he's not obviously making it public. But he makes a statement here that if anyone has proof that the Athena bodies are not copy-botted from SL, please provide that proof and I'll unban them. Now, I've come across Athena mesh bodies all over the place in OpenSim, to be honest, or the Athena brand. And as I say, this isn't a place for gossip, but it does appear that somebody who creates things in Second Life has actually noticed the presence of their bodies, shall we say, in OpenSim, and is not particularly happy about it. So if you are using those bodies, or worst of all, maybe saying them on behalf of somebody or even giving them away, bear in mind that there is a suggestion that that stuff might not be as kosher as it should be. Okay, so as I said, that's it for the news. There's very little of it, but I do have James Outloud here, of course, and I doubt if there's much developers news either, but I'm going to hand over to James just in case.
Hi, Mel. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Okay. Yes, perfectly.
I'm not sure that my audio is working exactly right, so I'll just a quick review of the chat log from the developers meeting. Shows that primarily it looks like a pretty mild discussion about really just really a lot of scripting issues and a little bit of processor use discussion. And so really I think coming down to what was the comment here that I noticed, hoping that someone mentioned that next year hoping that some memory leaks will be a priority in working on the code. So I can certainly understand that. But otherwise, I think probably the biggest takeaway is that there is still a meeting going on, and that's a good sign. So.
Yep. So as they keep meeting and talking, we're still getting somewhere.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for that, James. I heard you perfectly well, so I hope the audio on the broadcast came out. But as you said, quite a quiet week. But the meetings are happening again. And if anybody's interested in going to OpenSim developer meetings, they are held on OS Grid. And they're on Wednesdays at what is it, James? It's about Pacific time, maybe. It's about 4 p.m. Am I right?
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. It's 11 a.m. SL time, Pacific time.
Oh,
it's 1 p.m. for my own local time.
Right. And it's probably in the evening over here.
I'm making use of a very old brain here. So.
Yeah, fair enough. We're still recovering from the holidays, I think.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so that's 11 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays on the OS Grid. If you're interested in engaging with the developers and making suggestions and commenting on what they're doing, etc., etc. Okay, well, as I said, that is sort of it. The lull in proceedings here means that we've been working on quite a few other things. In my case, not only starting the planning for the next HIE, of course, but also a lot of hardware jiggling in the organic part of things, putting out wires, cables, moving furniture, putting new cables in, and all the stuff for hopefully an improved performance over the coming year. So that's it for this week. Sorry there was so little to tell you, but we are still here and looking forward to a busy year coming up. And don't forget, the best way is probably to direct message me on Twitter, Malbones, or on the Metaworld News account if you have any news to submit for this show. Remember, we are looking at social virtual worlds in general. and the hypergrid in particular. We don't cover individual news events like the latest party you're having tonight, but more general sort of hypergrid wide, grid wide, and platform wide news style news. What do you call it if you don't call it news? I don't know. Current affairs. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. We'll be back with you same time, same place, and it's bye for now.